So we can give you a recording of the full session. And I'm also going to share my screen. Can everyone see my screen okay? Good stuff. So thanks for the introduction, Theodora. We'll probably try get through the content in about 35 minutes, and then we'll have room for question and answers as well at the end, okay? So what we're going to try and do today is tell you a little bit more about the Digital Marketing Institute. So as Theodora said, my role in the Digital Marketing Institute is around digital skills and digital skills development. I'm just checking here. Sorry, some people have entered the waiting room, so I think as I'm host, I will probably have to let them in.
Yes.
There
Thank
we
you for
go.
that.
No problem, no problem. So we've another 8 people joining. So welcome to everyone.
Awesome.
Good stuff. So I'll keep an eye out for that. So yeah, I'm a digital skills coach. I've been with the Digital Marketing Institute for over 8 years. Okay, so I've come through quite a few of the programs. I've worked with a lot of professionals around the world, around their career, all industries, and also around the corporate and licensed side of the business too. Okay, so there's a couple more people entering here. I'm just going to admit them. So what we're going to try and cover today, everyone, is the following. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction around the context of who the Digital Marketing Institute is, how we were built, why we were built, and talk a bit about the digital skills gap globally, and give you some digital transformation case studies. So it's always good to understand how companies in different parts of the world are trying to introduce digital into their business. It's not just marketing professionals, it's also lots of other stakeholders in the business. I'll then take you through a couple of solutions and give you a demonstration of membership, and also talk to you a bit about Galexia's next cohort, okay, which Theodore will probably answer some questions on at the end, okay? We've another 3 people joining here, so welcome to everyone. Here we go, everyone's in now. So just to get things started, who we are, okay? So the digital marketing, digital skills, they're relatively new skills for professionals. They're not professions that have been around for 20, 30 or 40 years. So we exist to put some standards into an emerging and rapidly growing profession. So to do that, to get standards in place, you've got to work with third parties. You've got to get validation from the industry. You've got to go out to the marketplace, and I'll explain what the global industry advisory champions do, how they validate what we do, and how they work with us all year round. Obviously, a certification standard is only as good as the volume and the size of its alumni, and its professional members globally. So our standard is only as good as the professionals that we certify across every major city in the world, and how many of those people there are, because that's how global employers, people looking for skilled professionals with certified digital skills, can trust the DMI brand. That's what we've tried to build over the last 10 years. So as of this month, we have about 121,000 members globally, and they're active members. About 30,000 of those individuals have been certified, okay, to a single standard. Another percentage are on programs at the moment and will get certified this year or next year. And we also have corporate clients who maybe just have staff who are active in membership and will maybe progress to a certification. We like to be transparent, so let people know what's behind our brand. We were bought out in 2017 by a specialist tech investment firm called Spectrum Equity. They're very specialist, really good investors. They specialize in tech investments, so they've brought a lot of knowledge and expertise into our business. Indeed, they've helped us expand the reach for Global Industry Advisory Council in the US. So some of the brands that Spectrum own or own a majority share in would be fairly recognizable brands, for example, like Ancestry.com, SurveyMonkey, and people like that, okay? So what Spectrum have allowed us to do is not just invest more in our infrastructure, so build a bigger membership library and add extra value to our courses, expand our offerings, but also to build and expand our global industry advisory champions. So we moved our champions to the US 2 years ago and built a broader council, which gives really our certification better credibility and more trust and more recognition in different parts of the world. We're just going to admit another 2 people here. So it's great to see people coming in. Um, so that's just at a glance. So you get a global picture. As I said, 120,000 plus professionals in membership, 30,000 plus certified. We work with partners, education partners like Galeksia, and we also work with universities in different parts of the world. So academic brands work with us because they want to bring our content in to their existing syllabus or syllabi and update their programs and curriculum, so they can produce better graduates with the skills that companies want in every city in the world. Okay, and we will talk a bit about the digital skills gap, and we've seen this gap. In some countries, they call it a crisis, where the country is just not producing enough graduates with technology-based skills to fit their country's employment market or the continent, or to enable professionals or graduates to move abroad and get a career in some technology-based position. And we work with about 100 plus subject matter experts. So what we deem to be a subject matter expert, it has to be somebody who's out there working in digital marketing in a very specialist role like SEO, or they're PPC specialists. Maybe they're more senior strategic leaders. They may be content marketing professionals or experts. That's how we build our program. So I'm talking to you today from our headquarters in Dublin. We have an office in Australia, and as I said, we're a US owned brand. Our product team work out of our headquarters. We have about 6, I think, or 7 full-time product specialists, but all of the content comes from people out in the field. So they're contractors, they're specialists, they're working in the industry, and they help us update and build our programs. And when we have the program built, we then go to our global industry advisory champions. So this is really probably the most impressive thing we can offer our alumni and people coming onto the program. So this is the type of council that most education brands around the world would love to have access to. So the people that sit on this council, we call them our global industry advisory champions. Here's just a selection of them. They're very, very senior professionals from different parts of the world, Europe, US, Asia, and different parts of Europe as well. And they most of them represent quite large global brands. And there is a balance to the council, so we don't just want to overload it with big tech brands. So yes, we do have quite senior people from Google, Facebook, HubSpot, Twitter who are on the council. We also want to work with some marketing professionals who work at a very senior leadership level. For example, Andrew Mortimer works with B Sky B. Andrew manages one of the largest digital advertising budgets in the UK stroke Europe. So he brings a lot of knowledge as to what his marketing team needs to be today, what skills that they need to have, and what skills in the future. So we work with these people all year round. Some of these individuals will produce exclusive content for us, or maybe deliver webinars. For example, Neil Schaefer did a webinar last year around the role of voice search. We have the likes of Neil Patel and Larry Kim, big digital influencers, experts in their area and have a lot of followers. So people trust their opinion. And what we're trying to do with the council is we work with them all year round, but we meet twice a year in the US. And prior to meeting, we will share modules and courses that we're upgrading, and we'll share those modules with members. Sorry, we're just going to admit one more person here. Hopefully they're in now. And we'll ask them for feedback. Really, the council is here to make sure we're teaching the right skills that professionals need today, and also prepare them for the future. So this broad coalition of expertise meet, and they all agree that yes, this program the next version of your course is ready. It suits what we want in the marketplace, and we'd be happy to hire people getting certified from that particular level of course. Okay, so they really help us build a program and a pathway for our professionals and courses, and prepare for the next 12 months. Okay, obviously you can't look too far ahead into the future with digital, but if you have this level of expertise working with you, it really helps keep your programs up to date and build credibility. So if you think of if you're somewhere anywhere in the world right now, and you're a hiring manager, or a HR manager or a sales manager or a marketing manager looking to interview someone for a role that has digital responsibilities, and you want to see, does the individual have a piece of paper, and then you see it's from a provider like ourselves, you want to quickly look and see, is this a safe certification? Is it secure? Has it got transparency, and who's backing it? Okay, so these companies are quite happy to publicize that they're on our council and endorse what we do and validate, which is very important. If you want to know, just it's interesting. The likes of Google and Facebook, for example, who have a lot of good education products themselves, really good training products, HubSpot as well. But they're not really certification products. So these brands are obviously, they specialize in another type of business, which is, providing advertising space, and they have different revenue lines. And they obviously want to train people on how to use their platform, so their content's quite good. Like Amy Brooks, who is the Blueprint and one of the Blueprint directors, she really likes, though, that DMI exists, and we do what we do. We're a nice complement to their type of free training. So Google, Facebook have quite high standards when they look to hire people into their business. They certainly wouldn't be hiring people who've just done their training, okay, with no exam and no certification. So they want to see people with, the best academic programs from the best universities, or the best professional certification standards from the best professional trainers in the world. Okay, so they look for competency and secure exams. So that's a bit about the global, I suppose, industry advisory champions and what role they play. So they're quite hands-on, and we often will produce white papers with these members. Like the last white paper we did was with the Economist Group, and really all of the white papers we produce for the global industry is to help leaders and managers and industries figure out, what type of skills do we need right now and in the future. So I suppose if you look at most research, and we have either a direct channel into some countries, or we work with partners like Galeksia in other countries, where so we're always able to hear what the local companies or professionals need, or what's happening on the ground. In most countries in the world right now, we mentioned that global skills gap. It might be a crisis in some countries. So a few years ago in Europe, there was a massive issue with millions of business graduates graduating from some of the best universities across Europe, were often not finding themselves in a good career role based on the degree that they finished. Some weren't. So that sort of skills gap was investigated by the European Union, and really they built something called the CEN workshop. Just going to admit one more person here, which is really looked at addressing where is the gap, and the gap they found was in ICT, information communication technology. So ICT is quite a broad area. It includes advancements in IT and cloud computing and things like that, and cyber security. It also includes programming and coding, and digital communications, which is where digital marketing sits. So that sort of European initiative has been designed to help third level institutions around Europe start to bring more technology based skills into their degrees and help address this skills gap. The opportunity right now is that essentially around Europe or other parts of the world, supply of really good, well trained and certified professionals with good digital skills does not meet the demand. So that's where the opportunity is for you as an individual. If you get well trained and you get a piece of certification that stands up to scrutiny and is safe, you're in a good place career wise. And that's just down to market forces. Our recent piece of research, we talked to a lot of leadership figures through in building the white paper with the Economist Group. And I suppose we were trying to find out, what type of skills are managers and big global employers looking for, and where are they struggling to recruit. So you'll see, just for example, some of the future skills needed. I won't go through every single part here. Indeed, we can share the report with everyone who attends the webinar today. It was published at the end of last year, so it's still quite relevant. So if you look at some of the skills here, just to start thinking about the future skills that companies around the world are really thinking about, technology skills was up there 48%. Creativity is becoming very important, and that's something we're starting to bring into our courses too, based on the Global Industry Advisory Council. There is automation and machine learning coming in, so technology is often replacing human skills in some areas, but it can't replace creativity. So creativity is becoming a very important thing. How do you think creatively? How do you solve problems? How do you use all these digital platforms and to work for your company or your audience? Marketing skills, very, very important. So marketing as a profession, and I come from a traditional marketing background myself. And when I joined the Digital Marketing Institute in 2012, marketing as a profession was starting to, wages and salaries were going down, certainly in Ireland and the UK, and budgets were being cut because of global recessions. What digital marketing has done, it's reinvigorated marketing as a career. It's expanded the amount of roles that are available in marketing. We get lots of non-marketing professionals building a career in digital marketing. Salaries have started to go up because the skills are so traceable and the results are so successful for companies, and there's a lot of analytics behind. So marketing's become a really good skill to adopt, i.e. digital. Some of the other areas there you'll see what I mentioned: critical thinking, problem solving, and this is really big as well. The Global Industry Advisory Council, those leadership figures, they talk a lot about leadership skills or collaboration, so, and independent thinking. So yes, there's a lot of technically brilliant people across the digital spectrum, but you've got to be able to work with your colleagues and your agency and collaborate. Okay, so there's no point in being a brilliant PPC expert if you cannot translate your expertise into the content team, the creative team. So this has become a big area that we're also bringing into our programs, that sort of ability to collaborate with other people. I always like just to touch base, because we obviously do a lot of co-webinars with partners in different countries, and it's always nice just to check in with the digital landscape in terms of penetration. So it's interesting to see that in Macedonia, as of January this year, there's about 1.69 million internet users. Penetration's quite high at 80% plus, which is good. There's about 1.1 million social media users. The growth rate seems to be between 5 and 10% year on year. So the penetration of social media is around 53% of the population. And this is what we see in a lot of countries. A lot of the move towards companies and talking more online is driven by mobile. Mobile connectivity is one of the big drivers. So you can see that mobile penetration is quite high in Macedonia, like many countries around Europe, and that's what's driving. So you will probably start to see, as more smartphones and broadband and connectivity keeps improving, there'll be more and more social media sort of penetration through. That normally is the way it works in a lot of countries. Just going to admit one more person. It's great to see people joining still. So just to give people a flavor, we spoke a bit about individual skills and how the Global Industry Advisory Council like to get involved. I'm just admitting another couple of people. If I pause, that's what I'm doing. I want to talk a little bit about digital transformation case studies for companies. Okay, so and this is also thinking of you as an individual, how you might see yourself working in one of these sort of case studies in a future part of your career. So just to give people a flavor, these are companies that we've worked with in the last couple of years around quite large training pieces in different parts of the world, and there was different objectives for each company. These are just a couple of selection. We have worked with other big brands as well, but I suppose Vodafone was more of a marketing piece. So this was a marketing transformation across Europe, where Vodafone looked at their team of marketeers, different departments, different cities, and doing different things. Some were brand, a lot of traditional marketing, using print, TV, and radio, and they really had to, a couple of years ago, look at upskilling across the marketing team. So you'll see a lot of companies these days, big companies will have their own LMS sometimes already built. Learning and development is becoming a big area of keeping staff in companies. So you want to reduce your employee churn. So a good way to reduce staff leaving, it's not just about the money that you earn, it's how you're being developed by that company. So Vodafone had their own LMS. So what we did was we put our content onto their LMS, and we had a self-service option where their marketeers around Europe could take a DMI course and get certified over a period of 1 or 2 years. Okay, so that was part of a transformation piece for Vodafone where they couldn't. I suppose they had a good central team who they had a digital marketing team centrally, but really digital campaigns were being published out to local or regional marketing teams, and there was too big a gap in the knowledge. So that was the transformation piece for Vodafone, where they just had to upskill all their marketeers over an 18 to 24-month window, and they used our programs to do so. IBM is an interesting one. So just if there's any salespeople on the webinar today or people with a selling background, we get a lot of salespeople globally who look to do a digital marketing certification. We might have salespeople who are selling a digital product to marketing professionals. So they have to understand digital marketing in that context. Some salespeople look to transition into a digital marketing career for a change and go backwards. IBM found a couple of years ago that their inside sales people were starting to outsell in some cities their field sales. So traditionally in a company like IBM, the field sales team would be selling the higher value, more technical solutions because they would be going out to visit companies on site, using their company cars and all that type of stuff. But then they started to see that some of their inside sales teams, by using digital communication channels, maybe LinkedIn and some social channels, we're starting to build better relationships with some of those clients and actually start to sell more technical products from a distance. Simply because I suppose the essence of digital marketing and social selling is that you're there when the customer wants you to be there. Okay, so you're not interrupting their day by dropping out on site and saying, I've got all these new products. Can I talk to you about them? You're actually positioning yourself as someone who knows what they're talking about, and you're there when the customer's ready to talk. Okay, so that's where IBM put about, I think, 5,000 now at this stage of their um, global inside sales teams through a digital marketing and a digital and social selling training program. Just on the you'll see there in the results part, they actually made some really good gains in terms of improving conversion rates from lead to opportunity, reducing closing windows, etc. So it's been a very profitable change for them. Just another example of how a big company is looking to transform how maybe the way they traditionally did something, because it's being driven by their customer and their staff have to react. Just admitting someone else there as well. Another solution, just another digital transformation piece. This is a very, very traditional brand in quite a niche industry, Straumann. They're a big global company. They have quite a lot of reach across Europe and into the US. They're more in the medical device area of dentistry area and selling equipment, quite expensive equipment. So it's quite a niche industry. This was an interesting project because Straumann did not need to upskill their staff urgently. It wasn't like this was going to have a massive impact on their bottom line this year or next year. Traditional marketing still works quite well for this brand because it's such a niche area. However, they did bring in a transformation piece because they want to prepare for the future. They want to be able to react, be agile to changes that might happen in their industry. So that's often a reason why companies and individuals look to get trained in digital. They want to become more agile and react to change, because change happens a lot quicker now, driven by technology. So this was more of a protection piece for Straumann. Let's say with Vodafone, it was maybe more urgent that they needed to train their staff sooner rather than later. Okay, so that's just a flavor of digital transformation and maybe where good training and certification can be a positive driver in changing the culture and upgrading the skills. Just so people get a feeling for how corporates are changing their ideas around training and education. When I first started working with the Digital Marketing Institute, it would be standard practice, and it can still happen to this day, that companies will spend a lot of money to bring experts in on site and maybe have away days or do 2 or 3 day intensive workshops. and it's quite costly to get the experts in, and also to take people away from their job for 2 or 3 full days or one day. It's a big commitment for a company. There is a move away from that type of one-off training where it's intensive and then some of the learnings get lost as people go back to their day job, and 1 or 2 weeks go by, and some of the knowledge hasn't really stuck. So I suppose what we do now with our program and working with partners and with membership, which will show you, yes, we give you intensive training, but we also want you to continually update yourself. So continuous professional development is something that companies are really interested in at the moment. And if you're going for job interviews, if there's nothing better than saying to an employer, yes, I did a digital certification this year or last year, but it can also prove I'm still keeping up to date with what's happening in the digital industry. And here's my proof, and I'll talk to you a bit more about that as we get to the end of the session. So just to give people a flavor for our solutions, we are a solution provider. We exist to provide solutions to the digital skills gap across the globe. That's what we're here to do. Um, we have different certification levels. The main one we're going to focus on today is the professional level. Globally, that's our most taken course, and we've quite a lot of people who have got certified to this level, the professional level. It's our most robust course. It's where a lot of people start. We do have an essentials course, which is more of a corporate product where you're trying to create an awareness of digital across an organization, but maybe all your staff can't do the intensive professional level. And we also have some specialist and leadership programs too. So just to give you a quick flavor of, our global industry advisory champions and council would deem this would be the minimum amount of training, and to call someone a certified digital marketing professional, that they'd have to go through this level of training and do a 3-hour exam, which I'll explain a bit about as we go on. Okay, so we've built these modules as the essential areas of digital. Each module has quite a lot of depth. They're around it's around 3 hours of content. We have partners that do some of their education online, some in class, blended. There's all sorts of options that and we'll talk a bit more about Galeksia at the end of this session. So these are all standalone modules where, if you spend 3 hours learning best practice in social media, we'll cover the big platforms. We'll look at how you set up campaigns properly, and what's best practice in the industry right now. Try to minimize any potentially might make mistakes, and make you more efficient. Understand what the best tools, free tools are out there as well. And all that information's come from those industry experts who are out there in the field. And we've put it together into a really nice cohesive pedagogical training program. The expertise in our product team are their experts at building a learning experience. The industry experts are the people doing the work, and they bring the industry knowledge. So that's the program. We're on version 8.1 at the moment. So this program started in 2009. And I just completed version 8 myself this year, but I have done some other versions in previous years. As I said, it's our most widely taught program, and it's probably where most professionals start. It's deemed suitable for, if you want to be a digital marketing practitioner, like you're doing the work on a day-to-day basis, this is a good course. But we also get a lot of managers and senior leadership figures who take this course because they want to manage their team more effectively. They want to manage their relationship with their agency better. They want to get more return on investment. So we would get quite senior leadership figures right down to people starting their career, and will be on this type of program. I suppose what we try and do, because we're at the coalface of the industry, we actually really, like, our main criteria for success is a certain level of our graduates getting certified. That's first and foremost. So are people getting through the certification? Once they've been certified, we like to take sort of snap surveys on an annual or maybe twice a year, where we go out to 500 people or 1,000 people around the world and tell us what's happening in your career right now. You will see that about 94% are in full employment. They are exceptional figures. Now, what I would say is we are more aimed as a professional certification brand, so we will get a lot of people taking courses globally who are already in some form of employment. Okay, But the stats that I more look for, I want to see are people getting, working in a specific digital marketing role, or are they getting salary increases within 12 months? Is there promotions happening? Would you refer your friends or colleague to a certification? Our business was initially built in Dublin, where we started, based on referrals. People had a really good experience being taught by professionals, and then wanted to tell their friends and get more professionals on the program. So they're stats that we really look at. So you will also see, if you follow me on LinkedIn or connect with me on LinkedIn, I like to share professionals who get certified all around the world. They put their certification up on LinkedIn using a system called Credible. And we like to do profiles on our students and members around the world. It's all about boosting your own profile to make you more attractive to current or future recruiters or jobs that you might be going for. And the digital marketing community, which I'm going to show you in the demo, is very active, and we're here to support each other. So it's peer-to-peer learning. If somebody wants to move to another city in the world, you go into your DMI community, you put a message up, you say, I'm about to move to this city, I'd love some help to get an understanding of what's happening in the city, or help me, put me in touch with some people who might hire me in the digital marketing role. So and people are very helpful, because that's human nature, and everyone has the same certification, and that helps. Okay. And if you think of the psychology of why people choose a university in one country versus another, a lot of what drives people's decision is not just the quality of their education, but can I tap into an alumni resource where doors get open for me? Okay, so that's something we try grow in the community. So we're just going to give you, I'm going to jump out here and give you a little bit of a couple of minutes of just a look around our system, just so you get a feel for what level of resources are there, and we'll finish off with a slide on Galeskia's excellent local delivery of our program. So I'm not just saying this because we're on the webinar of Galeksia. I have a lot of experience of working with partners all around the world, down through the last 3 or 4 years. And it can be a challenge for some partners to deliver our courses locally. A traditional education body may have a lot of academic lecturers, and delivering digital marketing education is quite a challenge. It's difficult, but we have some exceptional partners in Europe. For example, we have a partner called Ice Malta, who deliver tremendous certification rates and deliver a tremendous education experience to the local professional, and they're what we call a platinum partner. And I would say Galeksia, in their first year of partnership, are on the way. That's I've often referred to them. They have a very similar approach in terms of the level of practitioners they have, the student care, getting people to be certified. So I would say you're in safe hands. Just to jump out here and log on to the system, okay? So hopefully this will load here, okay? Okay. So I'm just going to log in here as myself. So you're going to see my live CAPTCHA codes are the bane of everyone's life at the moment who's shopping online. So here we go. So just to give people a flavor of my own personal course experience, okay? So I started to log in as myself, and I have a big membership library, and the first thing I see is my course. So this is where people get their course materials. So you'll see my latest version of the Digital Marketing Professional Program. So I'm just going to go into all of the modules. So there's a nice layout. We like to be very transparent with people, so you get to know who's built each module, where they work, etc. So you'll see the modules there are broken down into the different areas. We give you a recommended format, and our partners will often build the programs and deliver them in a recommended format. But sometimes the module, some people go to other modules first if they're doing it online on demand. If you're doing instructor led, you work at the pace of your local partner. Just to give you an example of who helped us build the content marketing module. So this professional is Sean Early. We explain who he is, what his background is. Our practitioners can be from the US, from different parts of Europe, sometimes from Asia. It depends. It's quite global. Sean's background is a creative director with a big agency called Tenio in Dublin. They would work on a lot of government communication campaigns. So that's content marketing is his area of expertise. You'll see the way the modules are built. They're built in a very, very structured way. So our content team will break it down into areas of content marketing. Just here's a flow of content, content marketing concepts, into using content to find opportunities, how to develop a content marketing plan, how to create and curate content. And you'll see this is where the product expertise comes in. Obviously, if we want to make changes to a program, we do one big upgrade a year, so we might go from version 8 to version 9 to version 10, and that's when an exam changes, so it's quite a big change. But throughout the year, there might be small changes where we've got to react to something, and we might have a version 8.1 as we do at the moment. Okay, so by breaking each lesson into bite-sized pieces, we can make changes better. It's like replacing a brick in a wall and putting another brick in. Okay. So that's just a flavor of the course build. And now I'm going to just show you a little bit about the membership, okay, and how it's designed to support people after you get your course. So a lot of our global alumni, we've been speaking to them a lot over the last couple of years when we've been building a new brand. They will say things like we worry about staying relevant. So a lot of people want to stay relevant next year and the year after. When your course finishes, how do I keep up to date? I trust the way you build courses, and we trust that whatever you tell us is the right thing to do in digital or best practice. We trust it's coming from leadership in the industry. So we think we're on the right track. Have you got more for us? So that's why we built membership. Most professional standards, and I'm sure there's professional standards in Macedonia that you already have, for example, like an ACCA or Project Management Institute, we should and do have CPD. Okay, so in membership, we've built a big content library. We put about 2 to 3 new pieces of content into the library every week, and the library is broken down into um, we try to let people build their own sort of Netflix style experience. So, you can start to sort it by whatever areas of digital you're most interested in. And there is a career zone here, which is our most visited part of the library. I'll just log in quickly to the career zone. This is a really, really good resource. Whether you're a leadership figure or you're somebody looking at a career change, or you want to understand, how do I position myself as a PPC expert, or want to prepare for an SEO business role that I'm going for an interview. There's everything you'd need in here to prepare for your interview, or position yourself on LinkedIn, or think about what you need to do to develop yourself over the next 12 months. Is there areas of focus? So the career zone is really, really useful. But if you want to go into other areas like e-commerce or data, so everyone, our professional level course is a great grounding in all of the key areas of digital. And then you get trained, you get certified, and maybe you start to develop specializations through your practical application of the course. So some people might become more content experts, some become strategy and leadership figures, some get more involved in traffic optimization or website optimization or analytics and things like that. So the content types, because we work with a professional community globally. Everyone likes to consume information in different ways and learn in different ways. So we have to cater for everybody. And some people still like to read and research and, take some time out and focus. Some people like to listen to podcasts. So they update their knowledge on a weekly basis going out on a walk. Some people like visual. So you will see here, some people like live interaction. So we have a lot of different types of materials like ebooks and different white papers, business case studies. The short courses are quite interesting too, which I'll show you. They're linked to CPD with practical toolkits. So if you want to, if you're struggling to know where to start with something in digital, you might find a practical toolkit which helps you get going, and videos and webinars. The webinars are a way of producing something once or twice every month where the community can work together. They can talk to a live leadership figure who delivers a webinar and answers questions, and people can attend live or get a recording. But it's nice to maybe have a communal experience online and connect with other members. And the short course is just to give people a flavor. And it goes back to the individuals that sit in our Global Industry Advisory Council. I'm just going to open up the short courses here. So here we go. We don't want careers. So you'll see this is an example of how we work with the global industry and the tech specialists themselves. So you'll see when you get certified, you get your full certification, you do your exam. As a way to maintain your CPD and get credits, we have a whole CPD system that our membership team runs. You can go in and do some short courses in particular areas. We actually built an exclusive course with HubSpot, a graphic design essentials. So HubSpot built that with us, and it's available to members. There's some stuff there from Google, some of the Google essentials. There's a nice GDPR course for European professionals. So you can say to an employer, if you're going to work in a bank or a company that's very worried about data protection, that yeah, I've completed a GDPR essentials course along with my certification, and I can prove that I've completed it. You'll see Facebook blueprint. So there's some nice stuff there to maintain your knowledge over the next 12 months. Just so people know about membership, it's a question I'll try preempt it. Once you do a course with a partner anywhere in the world, you'll get access to membership, full access for 12 months, okay, as you're seeing here. There is a lifetime version that you'll have access forever, okay. We call it a freemium version. There is a renewal fee if you want a power membership. I think it's around €150 per year, which you can choose, and that's linked to the CPD program. But there is a free version, so it's we don't expect that everybody wants to maintain a paid membership year on year. So you'll still get a lot of resources in the free version. We want you to be as up to date as you can be. It just doesn't include the CPD system, okay. So as I said, that's where the live webinars sit in the events. So the next one up is SEM and SEO, a match made in heaven. We're finishing off the year with some positive habits for a work-life balance. That's the soft skills that our Global Industry Advisory Council are getting quite big on. And we're finishing off with social selling for B2B, which is an interesting area. CPD we won't spend too long on today. It's like any other professional standard. And most professions will ask you to do maybe 10 to 12 hours every year to maintain your proof that you're staying up to date with your profession, which in this case is digital marketing. So we have all the activities there in membership that you can submit once you're certified. You can submit your work to the membership team to get some credits. It doesn't all have to be digital marketing content, and we may have professionals attend another training course, or they might go to an event in their city. If it's relevant, they can submit that. Our membership team will look at it, and they'll give you credits back depending on your attendance or completion of work. So we have to evaluate it. We can't just offer credits without proper proof. But that's what gives the system its integrity. Okay. Just to finish off on the demo, and one or two more slides then. So you can see the community there at the moment. There's 121,721 members. And just a flavor of some of the conversations. There's people asking how to get jobs. How do you find the assessment? How do I do this? One of the most popular topics in the last few months was someone saying career change at 48, any tips on freelancing? So that got quite a lot of traction. So it's those types of community conversations. As I said, me personally, if I'd be leveraging this community as much as possible to build connections on LinkedIn and create some interesting career or business opportunities for myself. So I'm going to pop back to the presentation here. Just a minute on the exam. Nobody likes talking about exams. The training's more enjoyable to talk about, but I've completed this exam myself recently. The exam is a 3-hour exam. you're not under too much time pressure. Okay, so if we issue a piece of certification at professional level, we have to stand over your competency. Our professional, our alumni's reputation in the marketplace is quite good. That's what, and we pride ourselves. So, you won't pass the exam unless you've applied yourself to the course. Okay, and most people do apply themselves because it costs money and time, and people take the program seriously. So you'll be well prepared for the exam by Galeksia, and there's lots of good revision materials. Most of the exam are multiple choice. As I said, you're not under time pressure. So I found when I was in the exam, I had plenty of time to read every question carefully, think about my answer, and you can always move some questions to the end if you're not sure about the answer or you want to revisit that before you submit. There's 3 sections in the exam. I think globally at the moment, around 80% of people, 75 to 80% pass the exam first time. Okay, but you can retake it. Okay, you have up to 3 retakes, and that's included there. Pearson VUE test centers are well positioned in most cities in the world, and you simply go in and do it at a computer, and I got through it, so I'm still here after doing the exam. So here's the next CDMP group with Galeksia. We're here. We're not in any rush to move away here. So if people want to ask questions in the chat or whatever way, we'll be here. Sorry, just going to admit someone else here. So you're going to have online classes 2 or 3 times a week. There'll be a max of around 15 people in the program with you. There's 6 trainers and mentors. A lot of hands-on practice, which is really good with digital because it brings the course to life. It's one of the challenges for people studying digital marketing, that they feel confident to actually go into a place of work and do the work. So hands-on practice is really good. There's some really good mentorship available with Galeksia. So they as I said, Theodora and the staff really go above and beyond, a bit like Ice Malta, to get people certified and job ready, if that's what's required. And some employment opportunities come out there. So we've got to, I think we did about 35 minutes, not bad, or 40 minutes. So hopefully people have got a few ideas today about who we are, what the background is. Just in summary, I would say, in my experience, speaking to a lot of professionals around the world, digital marketing and communication and technology changes have presented some problems for people in their career, but in the main, it's actually been a positive thing. Most professionals have found this an interesting area to study. It's changing all the time. It's in your phone. You can relate to how companies talk to you. So as an area of study, it's quite enjoyable. It never feels like one of those areas that you've got to open up a load of textbooks and force yourself to remember information. It's more organic than that. So most professionals, once they get up and running with digital marketing and training and education, they actually, maintaining their knowledge is not a chore. Okay, it's quite enjoyable. So hopefully people have got some benefits today. And I might bring Theodora and any of the guys in there if they want to. And if people want to ask questions, please do so. I'll stop sharing my screen now so we can see the questions properly if they come up. Okay.
Thank you, Paul. It was a really great presentation. I think you covered pretty much everything very concise and precise. So if anybody has questions, you can either turn on your microphone or maybe you can just comment in the chat. So please, if you decide to share your question in the chat, make sure it's in English so that Paul can read it as well. So one of the guys is asking if there will be a recording. Yes, there will be the recording and we will send it afterwards.
Yeah, so what I'll do.
Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah,
sorry.
No problem. No, go back to the order. Yeah, so, as people are maybe formulating questions, we will share recording the presentation. And if I think of any other resources like this, the Economist Group white paper and any other useful resources, we'll share them as well.
Perfect. Okay, do we have any questions about the program or? maybe you have any questions about the classes, about the mentors.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, Michael. Michael is one of our mentors.
Well,
He's, yes.
I'm very pleased to be part of the of everything what you're doing, and I hope that all these guys here will be part of our process. I'm very satisfied as a, first of all as a student and then as a mentor. And I think that Galeksia has a great opportunity, and with DMI and DMI with Galeksia also. So please don't be shy, just ask anything. That's why Paul and all of us are here, actually.
Yes. So Sarah has a question. How long does the certification last?
Yeah, so we have some people who have our CDMP certification. They've had it for 5 or 6, 7 years. It still carries weight on their CV. So how long a certification lasts can sometimes depend on the market that you're in. We have some professionals in London, for example, who maybe did the CDMP in 2015, and the market forces have actually said, well, they need to go back and do an upgrade, an update in 2020, because recruiters or employers say, we're glad you got certified in 2015, but a lot's happened since then in digital, so we'd like to see you with a more updated certification. So certification is yours. It lasts for the duration of your career. I suppose it depends on the marketplace that you're in. If it's a really, really competitive marketplace, you may be looking to do your CPD. Okay, so CPD is a way to keep your certification active and vibrant on your CV. We genuinely would say, based on the Global Industry Advisory Council's advice, that a certification starts to get dated in digital once it goes beyond 3 to 4 years. Okay, so if you got certified this year, and let's say for the next 4 years you didn't do any CPD work or any visible CPD work, your certification will start to get outdated after about 4 years. If you decide to do some CPD work, it sort of could maintain it for 5 or 6 years. It depends on the marketplace as well. A lot of what we react to is driven by the marketplace. So when people start to tell us, employers start to say, well, we love people with that certification, but they might need this added on, which is the membership piece. Okay.
Thank you, Paul. So we have a next question from Alexandra asking, how many classes do we have per week? The regular schedule is for 2 classes per week. They're either Monday and Wednesday or Tuesday and Thursday. They usually last from 5 to 7 p.m. or from 5:30 to 7 p.m. depending on the class itself. And additionally, we regularly schedule mentoring sessions. Those are usually for the weekend, so that we can make sure that everybody is free and available. And of course, if somebody need help with any of the material, we have all of the 6 mentors available at all times. So you can connect directly with them and schedule a one-on-one individual session. It's okay, no problem.
Part of the process. It's part of
yes. So additionally, what I would like to mention is that since September, we have included 3 additional classes which happen after you finish with the official program. We involve those to help you with career development. So for those of you that seek for a new job, we hold training for how to create your CV or how to create your motivational letter. And we also prepare you for the interview process. And for the people that either want to start as freelancers or want to develop their business, we also do provide some free consulting and mentoring on that. So that is an extra additional benefit that you would get from Galeksia itself. But first, we want to make sure that you will pass the certification, because that will be the greatest proof that you have consumed all the knowledge, and then we help you to start using it in your career. Okay. So yes, we do have specialized courses. Currently, we provide 3 specialized courses. We have the search marketing specialized course, we have the social media specialized course, and the strategy development course. I'm sorry, 4. And we also have the digital and social selling. However, we advise people to go on the specialized courses only after they have some, background with digital marketing, after they have some experience into the field, field, because if they start directly into a specialized course without having the basic knowledge, it might be more difficult for them to implement them. So the whole learning program, to answer to Elena's question, is 5 months. So we have 4 months of active learning and studying on the classes and on the platform. And then we use the 5th month to help you prepare for the exam and also to take the exam. And after that, you have 3 additional classes which are not obligatory. The ones that I mentioned about the career development and the advice and professional help. And you can decide if you want to take those or not. The PPC and SEO classes. So yes, we have real projects for every course that we provide. The difference is that when you take the CDMP, the Certified Digital Marketing Professional Program, you study with a group of 15 people. And when you want to take a specialized course, if we don't have a group of 5 people at the same time, then you can take the course on your own on the platform itself. But we do have weekly or bi-weekly mentoring sessions, which is to help you see how far you have come with the material, if you have any questions, if you need any technical help for the execution. And then, of course, with the help of our company partners, we do work on real projects and we provide them to you so that you can exercise about your knowledge. You're welcome, Ljubča. Okay, do we have any other question? Okay, maybe Simona, who is our responsible for all of the projects and the classes, would like to share some info.
Hi everyone, maybe some of you I've talked to you on the phone or seen you maybe on social media. First of all, I wanted just to say a big thank you to Paul for being with us here and for the whole webinar and everything else. As you all mentioned and as Paul mentioned, if you're interested to join in our next group, it's this month starting at 23rd of November. At the beginning, before you start with the program, we are going to send you also some materials just for you to prepare for everything that we have for you. And thankfully, okay. Besides that, I just wanted to mention that the 6 mentors that we have and trainers, they all cover specific areas from digital marketing. They have all experience at least 7 to 10 years and even more. So they will be there for you, let's say maybe 24/7. If you have any additional questions on or anything that you want to maybe spend a little more time on it. And beside that, as Theodora mentioned, at the end of the program, after you have your certification, we also have projects and working on projects with companies and with real, let's say, real life experience.
Sorry. One thing I wanted to mention, because you asked about the SEO and the PPC classes, Theodore, who has a class at the moment, that's why he's not here with us. He actually used to work on projects for eBay. So he has 10 years of experience in SEO itself. And we just spoke today that he's actually planning to join a new company as the team leader of the SEO team. So I just want, it's very important for me to point out that all of the mentors that we have are long-term mentors with us. We have worked with them since the very beginning. And what is even more important, we know each of them personally. So we trust them as people, as professionals, and as experienced individuals who always make sure to provide as much knowledge as possible. And of course, at the end of the day, we always say it's up to the student to use the knowledge and to make sure that they have gotten out the most of the mentors as possible. And another interesting fact I would like to share, because we discussed with Simona today, is that Most of the students that have come to study with us in this year and have taken the certification, they have passed with above 75%. We even have 3 students which passed with 91 or 92%, I think, which is highly impressive for us as mentors, because we really pay a lot of attention to the classes. We invest a lot of time and effort, and we really dedicate ourselves to the quality. And of course, the main goal that we have and that we had since we started this company was to make sure that we bring a new higher standard of the informal education for digital marketing in our country. So the certification will be only, how to say, a piece of paper that will prove that you know something about digital marketing. But what is even more important for us is to make sure that you will use your knowledge, as Paul mentioned, because otherwise their certification will be worth nothing. So the certification itself will open a lot of doors for you. But of course, you have to do the background work to make sure you will develop your career even further. Awkward silence. Yes, you're welcome.
I should say at this point, I only got 69% of my exam, so I could have done with your help there, Galeksia. I got 69%. They're good results.
Maybe when you take the specialized course, you can come to us.
I'll do it.
Okay. Do we have any other questions, or?
Just a question there from Monica, just around the
oh yeah,
working in shifts. Is it possible to still start the program?
Yes, so basically we do record all of the classes that we have online. Unfortunately, the COVID situation doesn't allow us to have the classes live in the classroom. And of course, we want to make sure that we follow the protocols and keep you safe. So we do record all of the materials and all of the classes that we hold, and then you can watch it afterwards or the next day or during the weekend. And as I mentioned, if you have any other questions with regards to the content that you have seen on the video, you can always communicate with our mentors. We usually use Slack as a communication channel and email. So our mentors are, I wouldn't say 24/7, maybe 19x7, cross 6 or something, because they have to take some rest sometime, but they make themselves available 16/7, yes. So they will be available to you for any questions you might have. Okay, so Maria has another. After I take the CDMP program, do you recommend to take some of the more specific courses? Definitely yes. However, I would say that after you take the CDMP program, it's best that you spend some time into actually using the knowledge. So maybe 3 to 6 months of practicing what you have learned so that you can dive deeper into the understanding of the things. And then once you have made your mind about which area you want to dedicate yourself into, then we can discuss with our mentors how we can help you to choose the best specified course.
Yeah, and I would just to come in on that point as well. I personally would advise using the CDMP course and certification to make that first career improvement, or it's more than enough in terms of knowledge and training and certification to be credible to employers in your country, or if you want to move somewhere else. We've a lot of people in different parts of the world who want to take their certification to another European city and vice versa. And then when you sort of like let your career path tell you what specialization you need to go for and when. So it's always nice to link a piece of certification to a career plan. So as Theodora said, let the course settle, get some value from the first piece of course that you've invested in, the first certification, and then make a decision what's your specialization, and then what's your plan to make that specialization work for you. And listen to the employment market as well. If you go for jobs and let's say you don't get the job, maybe ask that person or that hiring person, what was I missing? So like let the market give you clues if they need more specialization as well from you.
Perfect. Okay. You're working freelance on SEO and PPC for clients, but you need more professional education to learn how to think outside of the box because everything you do is inside. So can I take classes just for this, or do I have to pass through all the program? So basically, you can either choose, because you have some experience in SEO, you can take the SEO specialized course. But I think personally, based on our experience, because we do also have a digital marketing agency, if you take the CDMP course, you will have more background info about how everything works together. And I'm sure it will help you with your SEO work. I mean, how long have you been working on SEO and PPC? You can turn on your microphone if it's easier. Half a year. So since you're pretty much new to the program, I mean, sorry, to the SEO and PPC world, I would definitely recommend the CDMP. One, because you will not focus only on SEO, but you will also be able to cover the Google Search Network, the Display Network, the Google Video advertising. And additionally, you will have the sense of social media advertising. You will see how it's connected to email marketing, to content development, because then content development is related to SEO, of course. So everything is kind of tightly connected together. So I think that it would be the best that you take the CDMP. I mean, of course, it's your choice at the end of the day. We can send you the program so you can see what you would be studying at both of them, so you can decide. But I think that since you're new in this, it will give you a better ground on which you can then build your knowledge, either specified for SEO or specified for PPC. Because those are very similar, but very different at the same time.
Yeah, and just to back up there, like again, it's something I've had a conversation thousands of times with professionals who are building a freelance career for themselves, and they specialize in SEO or PPC or both. If you think of how your services are going to expand over time, you may start offering more services around strategy. You may find another channel that you can charge for, or the clients that you're working with, they may expand and bring someone else into the mix to do something else for them, and you have to collaborate with them. So I think it goes back to that word collaboration. We have a lot of very specialist experts in digital and people who are, they prefer PPC, but they also have to understand what's the creative person, what way are they thinking, how's that social campaign running, where does the SE, so it's probably trying to allow yourself to link up in the future with other stakeholders with different skill sets, different minds, and that's where I'd probably advise someone to get the overall grounding, so you can collaborate more. Collaboration's a big word in digital, and it's something I've seen at the coalface as well.
I can share from our experience, because we also do run a digital marketing agency. Even when it comes to the sales process, we have tried a few times to sell one specific service or two specific services. And even if we do manage to sell only one or two, usually after a few months, the client says, hey, can you do this for me as well? Hey, can you do this for me as well? And once they see that you have an understanding of multiple fields, they will want to get even more services with you. And I think it will also help to kind of like, because all of them are kind of broad areas in their own way. So you will be able to see which one is most interesting to you, and where you would like to dedicate, I don't know, 70% of your time, and where you would like to get 30% of your time. Okay. Do we have any other questions or comments? Anything you would like to share? I will just message you our contact info here. Just give me 1 second. So you can contact me or Simona at any time. I have shared our emails and our cell phones here. We can also send them to you via email so that you will have them. And Lupcha has another. You're okay. Okay. I mean, what we can do is we can send you both of the programs. You can have a look on a deeper level what you would be studying. And then we can have a conversation to see what you think will be the best solution for you. It's all about what you decide in the end. Yes, perfect. Okay, I think we are ready to kind of wrap it up, unless we have any other question or comment. Okay, so Paul, I would like to thank you for your time. We managed to organize this webinar pretty quickly and on a very short notice. So I would like to thank you for your time and support to be here with us today and share the insights with our visitors. To everybody that attended, I would like to thank you for your time as well. I hope we managed to share enough info to get your imagination tackled so that you can become more interested about digital marketing. Of course, you can always visit our website, or you can call us on either of our phones or message us if you have any additional questions. And otherwise, we are here if you need us for anything related to education.
Yep, thank you, everyone. Absolute pleasure.
Yes. So, Paul, because you have the recording, you can send it to me afterwards, and
I'll share it with you.
I will send it to I will send it to our visitors. Thank you, everybody, for your time. It was great to be here with you today, and of course, we will be out there creating some additional content for you in the future as well, and hopefully, we will see some of you at the class.
Yes.
Have a great evening, everybody.
Have a nice evening, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.